The Memecoin run over the last few days has been absolutely crazy, and in light of it, I've made some big portfolio moves which I want to go through today. As you can see in front of you, many meme coins this week are up massively, with SPX up 223%, Lock-in up 174%, and a bunch of other memes absolutely exploding. GigaChad, POPCAT of course, is leading the charge, charging towards a $2 billion market cap. There is a lot happening in the meme coin market right now. It looks like a full meme coin bull run, and we need to discuss the playbook now for capitalizing, where I think meme coins could potentially go, and what I am personally doing to make sure I outperform in quarter four to do with meme coins. So there's a lot to discuss in today's video. Going to be giving you all the alpha on the memes, what I would do if I was sidelined right now, because I'm getting a lot of comments on my Twitter and my Discord from people that didn't buy the dip on POPCAT and MOG that now want to know if it's too late to get in. So we're going to talk about that as well. And I'm just going to give you all the alpha basically today on memes. And at the end of the video, I'll be going over some other sectors which I am currently interested in. I actually took a very big position in one coin from another narrative, which I think is going to be an outperformer in Q4 that I'll speak about at the end of the video. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video. It's going to be a good one. And let's get on with it here. So firstly, I want to start by discussing the current macro situation. It's pretty crazy what is happening in the Asian markets right now. You can see that the Chinese stock market opened up another 3% this morning. It's on one of its biggest runs ever. The S&P also charged higher after the shakeout that we did see on Tuesday. It does feel like sentiment is now starting to shift. I don't know if you guys remember Tuesday, but when the whole geopolitical stuff was going down, and yes, it's not over, but that was the day when it really started to panic people. The markets obviously started tanking. Many people were saying, is the run over? And then all of a sudden, just 1 week later, everyone's saying we're in full bull again. So it's just another reminder to not get too caught up in the headlines. Use dips as opportunities. The macro stage is set. We have China pumping stimulus into their economy. It's resulting in a massive pump across their stock market. Overall, crypto is very sensitive to global liquidity, and this is a bullish thing. The elections are coming up very soon, which is a massive catalyst for crypto. Let me read out this tweet from Daniel Troing here. Good chance the crypto bull market no longer hinges on a Trump presidency, and that markets continue to grind higher, even heading into the election. Whilst the Trump presidency would send us to Valhalla in a matter of months, it's becoming increasingly evident that Gensler does not exist under a Kamala administration, and she takes a much more constructive view on the industry, which is a net positive. Zooming out, we are entering a global easing cycle with more favorable regulation going forward, and crypto is still frontier tech, starting to feel like the beginning of a massive bull market. And look, I would agree that, especially post-election, obviously if Trump wins, it would be even more positive. But either way, I do think crypto, with that uncertainty out of the way, definitely has the stage set, given the fact that, as I mentioned, China is stimulating their economy. We have quantitative easing. I mean, the Fed has also started to cut rates, which is indicative of a pivot. There are many reasons lining up to suggest that Bitcoin should be targeting all-time highs either later this year or in Q1, and obviously that's going to be great for the altcoin market. We're already seeing that being front-run mostly by the memes, which is giving us a real indicator as to, look, when Bitcoin does break out, what alts are going to perform the best. And that's why right now we got to talk about memes, because the market is basically giving us a signal here. This is the meme coin super cycle to some extent. I know some people don't like that phrase, but I mean, ask yourself this. Every time the market dips and then goes on to have a subsequent pump, what narratives are performing the best? Pretty much time and time again, it's the meme coins, it's the AI coins, it's the L1s like Solana, it's RWA, like it's the same narratives that are pumping. So there's nothing to suggest to me that I should be going against the grain by trying to speculate on other utility alts and other narratives. Like, no, you can actually take a very simple approach in this market. Accumulate meme coins on dips, the best meme coins with the strongest communities. We're going to get into what those are today. AI coins. These have been market leaders pretty much every time the market recovers. L1s like Solana, Sui, Nia, we'll get into some others later in the video. These are also the really strong performers whenever the market recovers. So you actually don't need to overcomplicate crypto too much. the market is basically giving us all the information we need. If Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, what is going to perform? And it's these narratives, but specifically what I want to talk about today, the meme coins. But let's take a step back before we get into the exact memes and talk about what is really catalyzing this current meme coin run over the past week. I don't know if you've heard of Murad, but those who are just on YouTube and not so much on X, you might need a bit of a refresher. Murad is basically a meme coin analyst or a meme coin bull. Basically, he's been bull posting meme coins nonstop, and he's had a really appealing thesis that he's been perpetuating on his Twitter, which a lot of people have started to resonate with. He was already very popular. Like, I've showed a lot of his tweets on the shows for the last few months, but what happened was he had a speech at Token 2049 where he basically went through his entire meme coin thesis. And honestly, it was a great speech. It was very compelling. It got a lot of attention. He made strong arguments as to why meme coins, even at their current capitalization compared to the altcoin market, are undervalued. He made strong arguments as to why retail is sick of the VC dumps and the unlocks getting dumped on their head, and they want a more fair game, and also how meme coins are more appealing and give them the hope of hitting huge multiples. He made a very compelling argument. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole video today. On my thread later tonight, I'm going to be on my Twitter, I'm going to be posting a recap of this speech for those that don't have time or just haven't watched the 21-minute video. That'll be on my X later tonight. If you're watching this video slightly later, it'll already be linked in the description below. But basically what you need to know is this speech got a lot of attention, and Murad has really hit the X algorithm with his bull posting across memes like SPX, Giga, POPCAT. These are the ones that have been exploding. The Murad coins, basically, are the ones that have been absolutely exploding. Now, I just want to say, and this isn't specific to Murad, I don't think you should view anyone as like a guru or, follow exactly what they say. But I think we can learn a lot from the current fame that Murad is accruing. We are basically learning that crypto is a cult. I mean, we already knew this, but the reason why he's resonating with so many people is because they want to fit in. They want to feel like they're a part of something. They want to feel like they have purpose. And he's basically appealing to exactly what retail wants. They want fun in crypto, they want to feel like they fit in, and they want to make money. And he's basically packaging all of that and giving it to them. And this is exactly why meme coins are the leaders right now, and why I think this cycle, it's going to be the cycle of the memes, because it's really what resonates with people. Now, I'm not going to play the full video. You can watch that in your own time. But what I will play is a shortened clip with his thesis on a recent podcast that he did about why meme coins will outperform everything in 2025, just so you have a feeling for his thesis before we continue with the video.
Have you heard of stories of people becoming rich this year? I'm sure you have, right? But statistically, the majority of them, at least for me, I know 3 or 4 people that have done this with PEPE. I know 3 or 4 people that have done this with WIF. And I know 3 or 4 people that have done this with like a couple of smaller meme coins like Giga, Bonk, as well as famous stories,
right.
POPCAT, etc. Right? And by and large, on top of that, a lot of like the phantom screenshot, like non-scammy phantom screenshots that you do see that are real, came from memes as well, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Already in 2024, retail, like retail college students, retail taxi drivers, whoever, like their stories of like their cousin or their friend making it, statistically, it's likely to happen from memes, right? Which means that when they come, when like the second wave of retail comes, when the third wave of retail comes, they're going to try to mimic their cousin's behavior and their cousin's sector.
This is exactly what I was saying before. Like, the market tends to gravitate towards outperformers because people see, oh, they've made a bunch of money, so when I get into crypto, what am I going to do? I'm going to copy what the people that made a bunch of money did, and that was longing memes. So it's kind of this self-fulfilling prophecy that ends up taking place.
And they're going to be like, oh, he made money through WIF? Let me also try to make money with memes. Let me find another meme. Yeah. And so multiply this by 1 million, you get these like structural momentum effects, right? And so I think that meme coins, and probably to a lesser extent AI, are going to be the big performers in 2025.
I mean, that basically sums it up. That is the narrative. People A, they can relate to it. 2, they feel like they fit in. They want to be part of a cult. 3, they feel disheartened because a lot of the newer VC coins have performed super badly. And 4, they've seen everyone make a bunch of money in memes. So it does make sense when retail comes back, they're going to gravitate more towards that. I found this tweet very funny from Nick here from Coin Bureau. He says, on the left is an academic abstract for a 40-plus page white paper on the intersubjective work token. On the right, we have a meme of a cat. If retail starts coming back, which one do you think they're going to bid? We've already seen retail come back just a little bit over the past week, and they've been bidding the memes. So, I mean, one thing to note, I mean, from a bullish perspective is retail isn't really even that back yet. Altcoins typically don't have their crazy run until Bitcoin hits all-time highs. Altcoins, right now, a lot of them are still barely off the lows. And we had a shakeout just as recently as 5 to 6 days ago. So, I mean, there definitely is a lot more upside here, but we are getting the data now. We are getting the information over the past few days that, look, when this alt season truly happens, it's probably going to be a very meme-focused alt season. And look, memes can actually front-run this and start running earlier. That's what we're seeing now. But generally speaking, it's probably going to be the memes. And as Murad says, AI, and I've got a couple others I want to speak about later as well that are probably, going to lead because they're easy to understand and they've got hype behind them. It's not just the retail, though, who's probably going to FOMO into these coins. It's also the funds. This is a very interesting tweet from Jusu here saying, hearing liquid funds who had previously rejected meme coins are now being asked by LPs why they haven't caught the moves. Institutional allocation to meme coins is likely going to be the story of Q4 2024. And I mean, 100%, think about what a VC is. They have LPs, so liquidity providers, who are basically the stakeholders of a fund because the fund is managing their money. These stakeholders, they want to maximize their profits. Do you think they're going to be happy sitting on the sidelines, seeing POPCAT 2 to 3x and other ones 10 to 20x, whilst their VC round that they invested in for some L2, is down 50%? I mean, no, they're not going to be happy at all. They want to make money. They are playing the same game as retail, albeit, on a larger scale with more money. They want to make money as well. So I do think this whole institutional narrative for more liquid funds entering the space and also like VC funds putting more capital into memes is definitely valid. And that is a trend I think that could take memes even higher, maybe slightly later in the year. For now, it is isolated to retail, but I know a lot, even from my discussions with people in the industry, a lot of these big whales are becoming very interested in memes and how to position in memes. I know a couple of whales who even recently took massive positions in things like POPCAT. I'm going to get into whether I think it's too late to do the same slightly later in the video, but it's definitely a trend that's happening. So let's just circle back to Tuesday, though, because Tuesday we had that massive dip in the markets and everyone was scared. I did a tweet here. I said, on Tuesday, you were too scared to buy. Today, you want to ape every meme coin in sight. Never change CT. And the reason I did this tweet is just because it's freaking crazy, guys. Crypto Twitter, YouTube, it's so cyclical, but the cycles are happening every single week. Like one day everyone's depressed, the next day everyone's euphoric. Like, let's remain a level head. Let's stick to our strategies here and let's not get affected by emotional stuff, especially when there's like headlines that are bearish and bullish. Like, you should never get too bullish, never too bearish because of a single headline. And unfortunately, everyone got super, super scared on Tuesday. The geopolitical stuff could crop up again. That could give us another dip at some point within the next couple of weeks, especially if stocks retrace. In my opinion, that would be a great opportunity to actually bid some of these coins that are running right now on a potential retrace. So you've got to be using, if your macro thesis is that the market goes to all-time highs, if you believe Bitcoin's going to all-time highs in the next few quarters, if you think that altcoins are going to have an alt season at some point, even in the next year, then I guess the modus operandus is bidding the strong coins, the leading coins, the coins that are likely to perform the best on pumps during major FUD events and major dips. And that's what I did on Tuesday when the market was crashing. I did this tweet. I also did multiple videos on YouTube if you've been watching the channel, where I said, pro tip, the coins you want to be buying during the dip are those which led the market during the last rally. These will be the coins that rebound the strongest. This was on October 2nd. It's now October 7th. Some of them that come to mind: WIF, PEPE, Phantom, POPCAT, Tau. Let's look at the price performance since this tweet of those coins. This was absolutely spot on. WIF, up 24% since that tweet, up 36% from the local lows if you were able to time the bottom. I'm giving you both numbers because, not everyone would have gotten in at that exact time. At the bottom, some people would have just bought straight away. So I'm giving you both numbers. PEPE up 16% from the tweet, 26% from the lows. Phantom up 3%. This was the underperformer, but still up 12% from the lows. POPCAT up 50% from this tweet. 50% and 61% from the lows. Tau up 30% from the tweet, 33% from the lows. These were literally the strongest performers on the bounce. There are a few that I didn't include because I just didn't foresee them going that crazy. That was Giga, SPX, and the Murad coins. But by and large, the thesis here was correct, and anyone that did end up buying this dip alongside me would have done really well because, as I said, your goal as an investor is to buy the strongest coins on dips. It's really simple. I've been talking about this for 6 to 12 months. Time and time again, these FUD events, and the FUD can, be substantiated by something legitimate or not, but irrespective, periods of massive downside in the market tend to create opportunities from a macro point of view, especially on the coins that were performing prior to those dips. Now, it's not just last week that I was talking about these memes, though. On July 30th, a few months ago, I did this video here. Now, I want to highlight this because I think it's a really important lesson in market psychology. The video was titled, How to Become a Memecoin Millionaire in 100 Days. Copy my exact plan. I talked about the ultimate memecoin portfolio, and I just picked 4 coins. These weren't the best picks in the market. There have been memes that have performed even better that weren't in this video, but they also weren't the worst. These have still outperformed pretty much the entire market. With PEPE, obviously POPCAT was the best one from that video. It's now my second biggest meme coin. I didn't intend that. It just ended up running up and becoming my second biggest holding, but I'm here for it. I'll get into where I think that POPCAT sits in a few minutes here. And MOG as well was my 4th pick, and I discussed a couple other memecoin proxy trades as well. But this video, right, when I did it, I distinctly remember this. I don't usually pull up comments. I'm not usually one to even read the negative comments, but I do distinctly remember posting this video when meme coins weren't so hot. And I was met with a lot of backlash. Let me read some of the pretty awful comments that some of you guys left. It's kind of ridiculous to talk about memes as a sector when you're really only talking about a small handful and a tiny portion of the overall space that has done well. You can't just invest in memes and add memes to your portfolio like you do Bitcoin or ETH. You have to be able to pick the right ones before they pop, and that's so much easier said than done. I agree if you're a meme coin trader, but I strongly disagree with this sentiment in terms of picking the leaders. Most of the strongest meme performers, they weren't small caps that you're speculating on. Coins like WIF, PEPE, MOG, and POPCAT are up significantly since I made this video. PEPE's been like a flat. I think it's still now just going into the profit, but POPCAT's up massively. MOG's up, WIF, etc. So, I mean, yeah, if you're trading, but if you just want to invest in memes, you can also take that approach. You just, instead of going with the low caps, you go to the mid to large caps and you just play the leaders. I always talk about playing the leaders. This comment here, bro just yapping bollocks. This guy makes snake oil salesmen look respectable. This comment here, this guy knows nothing. Yet another YouTuber making crap videos. What a joker. Someone said, never heard such nonsense. The comments were very bad in this video compared to normal. Now, why was that the case? Honestly, the truth is I was too early. I made a Memecoin Supercycle video in July when alts had started going down. People weren't ready to hear it. But here's the lesson. You have to be ready to hear it. You have to be willing to back a thesis when it doesn't look strong based on fundamentals, because you bet when the market turns around, when the market starts pumping, that thesis will have the time to shine. And this Memecoin Supercycle thesis, this whole video was my full thesis on memes. It was literally 8%, and that's
the speech that Murad gave. I did it 2 months earlier than him, right? Now, Murad's done really well. He's probably outperformed me, so I'm not comparing myself to him, but I'm saying I had the exact same logic. We went through the VC coins. We talked about how they've underperformed. I talked about how people are sick of it, and I talked about how they want new plays. I talked about how they wanted to left curve. This was on July 30th. I did my full thesis on this. It was met with a bunch of horrible comments because people weren't ready for it. Now, a couple months later, everyone is backing Murad. Everyone's saying he's right. It's a Memecoin Supercycle. Memes are exploding. Everyone wants to back the memes again. I mean, guys, let's not get so affected by market moves. Let's try and have a thesis and actually stick to it. So next time I make a video about a thesis when the market's down and you don't want to hear it, maybe pay attention, because maybe that's actually the time where you should be positioning, because since then, POPCAT has absolutely exploded, and many of the other memes have absolutely exploded. If you subscribe to this Memecoin Supercycle thesis like I do, and I have been covering that for a while. And you can see here that even in the Discord, I've been
talking about memes like POPCAT for ages. Like start of August, I posted the chart saying I was going to buy in at a massive support level. Someone asked me what my top memes were. I said MOG, POPCAT. I've been talking about POPCAT for a long time, but it's only now that people are like, oh, should I actually be buying POPCAT? Should I be buying WIF? So, I mean, in a minute, I'll actually get into whether I think it's too late. But the point I'm trying to make here is don't get so emotional, basically. You shouldn't be FOMOing, and you also shouldn't be too bearish when the market looks bad. In fact, if you have a thesis when the market looks bad, that is the time to strike on that thesis. Now, I want to spill a little bit of the alpha from the alpha channel in the Mars High Club. I know not everyone is in there. You should be, but if you're not, let me just give you a recap of some of the recent posts I've made. It gives you an idea for the kind of stuff I post there. The first thing I posted is Murad's Memecoin list. This will be available in the form of a TradingView watch list, so you guys can just add it straight to your TradingView if you are part of the Discord. I'm going to be posting that tonight. What I'm doing is I'm updating pretty much in real time my portfolio Memecoin adjustments in the Discord. Obviously, it's hard to do on YouTube. So pretty much all the updates I make, if I swap out of one, take profit, swap into another, find a new meme, all of that's going to be in the alpha channel first. Pretty much all my alpha is posted in the alpha channel first, even before YouTube and Twitter. I actually DM'd Murad, had a conversation with him. I asked him, is there a reason why he's not shilling PEPE and WIF? He says, look, he thinks PEPE and WIF will go up. He just prefers the risk reward on the mid-cap alts, or in his word, cults, like SPX, Giga, MOG, and ARPU. POPCAT chart looks very good. So yeah, I would agree with him on that. I think the mid-caps do offer good risk reward, but personally, I'm a big fan of PEPE and WIF. That's why I asked him about it. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify his thesis there because I know he's not talking a lot about them. I posted Hippo, which is another meme that I saw gaining a lot of traction. You can see here buying some Hippo and Sui. I posted this on the 1st of October. It's now 3x our initial entry, which is absolutely amazing. That was posted to Mars High Club members. So if you were in there, you would have made a killing on Hippo. Congrats to everyone that got in. I still think this can go even higher. And just well done to everyone that's in that trade. I've taken my initials out, by the way, because I'm up at 3x now and I'm riding the rest. Let's see what happens there. And the Meme Talk channel has absolutely started exploding over the past couple of days. Getting so many questions. I'm answering all your questions on the memes. Everyone's posting memes. I'm charting memes for you guys, getting a lot of chart requests in there. I'm pretty much here hanging out in this Memecoin channel all day because that is really where it's at in the market right now. So if you do want to be a part of the Mars High Club community, there's a link in the description below. We're approaching 1,000 members. We're going to shut the doors once again at 1,000 members once we hit that level. And of course, if you join, you're going to get access to the Meme Talk channel, all my portfolio updates in the Alpha channel, calls like the Hippo one, which are up at 3x. I had a couple altcoins, which I recently called one of my favorite RWA plays, a DePin play, a few different things I've been posting in there as well. So you guys get the early alpha first. And members of the Discord, I think, have had a pretty damn good week, especially the last few days. Paradise hit this nice 200% trade on WIF. Myro, Tau, the AI coins. It's been a pretty fun period to be in the Discord. It's been a lot of fun. But now let's get on to the next segment of the video, which is titled, I think pretty appropriately right now, is it too late to buy memes? So let's actually talk about the current price action, because I know a lot of them are up massively, and I know a lot of you don't want to FOMO into the market and you want to maintain a level head, but it's hard, right? Because even myself, like, POPCAT's now my second biggest meme. This happened organically just through me DCAing into POPCAT over time. It wasn't my biggest stake, but it was the best performer, so it's ended up growing to become my second biggest meme coin holding after PEPE. But even myself, I've felt FOMO over the past couple of days. Like, damn, I should have bought more POPCAT. It would have been my biggest holding if I just bought more. And you kind of fall into this trap, should I keep adding more? Should I go all in? I'm seeing people going all in on POPCAT now. Like, what's the go with that? So I want to give you a few basic principles now when it comes to buying a coin you want to FOMO into, but if you're unsure about whether you should FOMO, right? So if you're asking the question, is it too late to buy POPCAT? Is it too late to buy SPX? Is it too late to buy Giga? These are the main points that I want to get across, and this full tweet is available for you on my Twitter as well. The first thing you got to do is understand that there's always another opportunity in crypto. So before you FOMO, just firstly remind yourself, look, even if I do miss this coin, there is so much more opportunity. This is not the only coin that's going to pump. This isn't the only coin in crypto that's good. This isn't the only trade of my crypto career. There will be more, and the market is extremely cyclical, so the trends change. Remember, what we often see with strong runners is they'll have an initial rally, followed by consolidation, then another expansion to the upside. Most of the memes that are running right now had their initial run earlier in the year, consolidated for a few months, and are now undergoing their second leg to the upside. If there's a coin, this is what we discussed earlier in the show, that has multiple resurgences whenever the market rallies, that's a good indicator that you should be taking full advantage of dips on those coins. Remember, there's always another opportunity in crypto, whether it's as simple as waiting for a cooldown on a leading alt or playing the next rotation within a subsector. But nonetheless, let's assume you're absolutely convinced that insert ticker here is going to go much higher, but you're not confident buying into FOMO. Then what do you do? So let's say you're convinced POPCAT is going to 10 billion. I'm just using that as an example. It could be any coin. MOG, PEPE, Giga, SPX. What should you do if you really want an entry, but it's absolutely pumping, and even 0.1 did not help, quell your FOMO? Well, basically, you can implement a strategy where you get initials in to hedge against FOMO and further upside. So, because sometimes, being out of a position is riskier than being in a position. Just like sometimes it's risky to be in a position than out of a position. It can go the other way when the asymmetry on a trade or the EV on a trade is just too high. So what I do in these scenarios, when I don't have any exposure to a coin, but I really, really want an entry, but it's already pumping and it's not on a pullback, is I'll get like 20 to 30% of my initial position size in. You can go 15% if you're slightly more risk averse. You can go up to 50% if it's more time sensitive and you have a lot of conviction. But the ethos here is you're getting in a smaller percentage of your ideal position upfront in order to quell the FOMO. And this is a strategy, I call it the partial entry strategy, that has saved me many times in the past from incurring huge losses, because often times when you want a FOMO, that is the top. Not all the time, but a lot of the time it is. So it saved me only getting 30% and sometimes from huge losses. But it's also done the other thing. It's also saved me from missing out on a huge pumper, because it's better to get 30% than nothing, right? And then the remaining 70%, which is step number 3 here, and if you do 40%, it could be 60. If you did 20%, it could be 80% remaining, whatever it is. You put that remaining stablecoin bag into the coin on major dips. You can also use a time-based DCA system. So you can say, okay, I'm going to buy once a week, or I'm going to do both. I'm going to buy, 5% per week, but then on major dips, I'm willing to pull the trigger on a 10 to 20% buy in order to lower my cost basis. That is the best strategy, in my opinion, when you want a FOMO, but you don't have a position. Now, I know a lot of you would already hold things like POPCAT, PEPE, WIF, and would be doing really well right now. Congrats, especially those that have been following my Memecoin videos, but maybe you haven't, maybe you don't have an entry. That's okay. If you are really, really bullish on these coins, and that's something you have to work out yourself, I'm not here to tell you what exact coins to buy. I'm telling you what I'm doing, right? If you choose you want to buy a coin and you're really bullish on it and you believe in it, you can put in let's say 30% and you can do the remaining 70% under a time-based and a dip-based accumulation system. And maybe, let's say POPCAT runs to 2 bill. Maybe it does run, you capitalize on that 30%, it runs. And then at 2 bill, it has a pullback to 1.7. You can get back in, and now your cost basis is like 1.55 to 1.6 bill. Not that bad, even though it hit a peak of 2 bill. If you can understand what I mean. The other thing I would do, and I strongly suggest this, is using technicals to set invalidations and TP zones. Charts don't always predict the future, but they are great tools to help you manage risk. So you always want to have a technical invalidation on a coin, even if it's pumping. Now, obviously, the more it pumps, the harder the invalidation. So when I look at POPCAT right now, the inval's sub $1. 1 bill's the floor, but inval's hard because it hasn't consolidated. So if you're buying POPCAT, you're kind of accepting maybe you're willing to go back, to a bill to potentially invalidate. That's a wide stopgap, but it also means you're likely to be in the trade for longer. With MOG, it's a little bit more clear. Your stop would be at the 12.4 region. It's at 17.4. Still quite a large gap of 25%, but not as big as than 40%. PEPE is approaching resistance, so it hasn't even had its breakout yet. It's a little bit behind. As this one starts to move, you can set inval. If you were buying here, your inval would be at 8. Have invalidations for setups, even if they are wide, because it can be good, because it means you're never going to round trip your full position, and you've predetermined a percentage you're willing to lose on a trade. That also helps you with position sizing, because if you don't know how much you're willing to lose, how are you supposed to know how much you're willing to stake, right? So this is very, very important, this point here. And lastly, number 5, and it kind of ties into number 4, go in with a predefined plan. Before you buy an altcoin, have a buy plan, have a sell plan, have an invalidation plan, and have a thesis. If you're buying POPCAT on the thesis that it's showing relative strength, cool, buy it. But if it starts showing relative weakness for an extended period, and the entire reason you bought it was because it was buying because it had strength, then I guess that invalidates your original thesis. So you don't just have technical invalidations, you have fundamental invalidations if the reason that you bought a coin is being proven wrong. That's also very important. If you do all that, I think you can get entries on coins even if they are pumping. But you have to do all of this stuff. You can't just get the 30% in and then not have invalidation. You can't, have a plan, but you just make it up as you go. Like, you have to do everything at once. And if you do that, then I'm okay with people FOMOing. But at that point, it's not FOMOing because you've obviously thought about it a lot to come up with that plan, right? So that is what I would do. But that's more general stuff. Let's actually talk about specific altcoins now and show the charts, because that's more of a general thesis that you can apply to any coin that's pumping that I think is important. The list in front of you, and this is the list that you're going to get on TradingView if you're part of the Mars High Club, plus a few custom meme coins that I'm adding, and I'm going to delete a few that I'm not that bullish on to customize it to be my meme coin list. But this is the list that Murad came up with. And this is pretty much the list of coins that you've got to focus on right now from a price action point of view, because everyone's just jumping into the Murad coins. It's pretty much the meta right now. I'll just go through very quickly and tell you the ones I like and the ones I don't like. I think SPX is great. I prefer it to Giga. I know it's a lesser FDV, but I think SPX actually appeals a bit more to like that retail Wall Street bets contingent, because it has like, stock market TradFi, like memementals behind it, so to speak. So I prefer it to Giga. Giga's okay. I've heard very bullish things, but I don't know. Just if I had to pick. MOG is next. MOG is very interesting. Let's look at MOG, because obviously it has not run up as hard since it broke. It's not even at all-time highs yet. It's still at 17. So what's that in terms of market cap? Like 600? Oh, it's 670 now. I mean, I was talking about this, buying this at like 400, 480, but still, it's 36% of all-time highs. POPCAT is now how far above all-time highs? It's 45% above all-time highs. So if we just plot that like fractal against MOG could hit 35. So that's a 2x from its current level if it reaches where POPCAT is now. In terms of market cap, and POPCAT will probably be even higher by then. So MOG is one that I like. I actually prefer it as a long to POPCAT right now. What I think is going to happen on POPCAT, I think it could easily, I think it might retrace a bit here, then go to 2 bill, and then have like a big retrace. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Just this is just rough logic, just my opinion based on gut feel. I think 2 bill is like an anchoring point. I think it's going to really struggle once it gets into that zone. The OI is already going up a lot. This isn't one that I think is that skewed risk reward in your favor in the short term, unless you're playing the 140 to 2 bill leg. That's a decent leg to play, but inval's super hard on this one because you can't use all-time high as inval. You need to actually use inval on the lower time frames. So you might look to position your stop here under this wick, but if you get hunted, then you could get screwed. So it's a tricky one. For me, it's better to be in spot, obviously, than leverage with a coin like this. Do I think it'll keep running? Yes. That's why I'm kind of holding my POPCAT still. But I have started to take some profits a bit more aggressively because it's pumping so much. And if I wasn't in, I would be very wary. And if you did enter, I would follow the strategy that I just gave you about getting some initials in and then having an invalidation, depending on how wide you want to go, and then laddering into the rest. PEPE is still very far behind all of these. It's still only up since our buy zone, since we got our fills, 67%. I mean, that's massive. But in crypto, it's not as much. PEPE is 64% to all-time high. I think this will run slightly later. It's not a Murad coin, which is why it's not pumping. WIF is pumping, but it's also not a Murad coin either. And the Murad coin's the ones that are pumping. I talked a lot about this range low in the shows, and also the breakout trade that I shared on my Twitter and YouTube a couple of weeks ago. We're up 44% on that. So these coins have really been carrying my portfolio over the past couple of weeks. Continuing to go through the list here. Just to tell you what I like. Bitcoin, not in love with it. Lock-in, I think it's a good meme. I like it. It's a low FDV, so that's in its favor. I say lock-in all the time, by the way, so I'm probably going to pick up a bigger bag of this. Smoking chicken fish is funny, but I'm not in love with it. ARPU, I like. That's kind of like the other PEPE thing. Selfie, don't know much about. Michi, I do like. I hold a bag of Michi. If you look at the cat coins, that's a rotator. That's a very strong potential contender to push up into that higher market cap region, so I like Michi a lot. That's what I've been adding. And then as you go down the list, I become a bit less bullish. There are a couple here which I'm interested in adding, but I just haven't decided to yet, like Moomoo. Maybe something that I add because the chart does actually look quite good on Moomoo, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that. I'm pretty much operating a spot portfolio here. I'm doing a bit of leverage trading, but I've got my core positions, PEPE, WIF, MOG, POPCAT. I've added a couple more recently, like Mitchie. I'm continuing to manage risks, so I might be selling some POPCAT and I might add into something like an SPX because I think it offers slightly better risk reward, and I'm just like trying to manage it like its own little portfolio within my crypto portfolio to make sure that risk is being managed accordingly, and I'm taking profits and I'm putting the profits into stables, and I'm just making sure I de-risk as I make money here because it is mania right now, and I also want to make sure I make money. That is the end of the Memecoin talk for today. I've been talking about it all day in my Discord. Join the Discord if you do want the early alpha there. But I want to go on to another important point, and that is this isn't just about memes, it's about Mindshare, right? The meme thesis in and of itself, the reason why it's so strong right now is because of the attention that it's commanding. Mindshare is what's driving price. What is Mindshare? It's like the collective percentage of thought power that's going behind or into a narrative. And it's not just exclusive to Memecoin. So I didn't want to just make this a full Memecoin video because there are a couple other narratives which you shouldn't be fading. I don't want you guys to get the idea that I'm just in Memecoins now. Like, no. There are other narratives, RWA and AI being two of them, L1s as well, that I think still have a very strong place in crypto and probably benefit from the wealth effect that memes create. What do I mean? Retail comes into memes, they pump meme coins. Meme coins go up. People want to rotate into other narratives which haven't run as much. What are they going to rotate into? The next hottest thing. What's the next hottest thing to meme coins? It's AI and it's RWA and it's L1s like Solana. Like, these are the coins that are going to be the biggest beneficiaries. So let's talk about a few of them now. One I actually recently added to my portfolio. Actually, no, two coins I recently took bigger positions in my portfolios across RWA and AI respectively. Let's start with RWA. So you guys know Ondo's been a massive runner. I'm up like now I think it's, 70, from the seed round, I'm up like a 30x, which is a lot. Even on my liquid buys that I shared on the shows Q4 last year, even to the current price, not even the TP zone at 90 cents as it started to break down, I'm still up like a 3 to 4x. So Ondo's been a great performer for me this cycle. Mantra as well has been a great performer for me this cycle. Mantra's been up only. And I think Mantra, by the way, can continue to run. I don't think it's over for Mantra. But what is becoming clear is, look, Mantra is up a 22 to 23x year to date. Ondo's up like a 30x since the seed round. Like, these coins have run a lot, and they now command very high valuations. And as you guys know, the higher the valuation of a coin, the more difficult it becomes to pump because the more liquidity it takes to pump that coin. So what I've been doing over the past few weeks is searching for the next RWA play. What is the third RWA proxy that isn't Pendle, because Pendle isn't pure RWA, but it, obviously incorporates it. What's the third proxy? So I looked into coins like Goldfinch, I looked into Maple, I researched a bunch, Centrifuge. I like a lot of them, but I did land on one to me that was the clear standout in terms of narrative and had the best priced based on what they were doing. And that was ClearPool. So I recently took a position in ClearPool. I shared it in the Alpha channel on the 5th of October. If you want to look at the weekly, it was like 12 to 13 cents on the 5th of October when I first mentioned it. And it already is up quite a bit, but I think it's going to continue running. So you're still getting relatively early alpha. The members in the Discord just get the earliest alpha. But CPOOL is one that I recently took a position in because the chart looks good, the fundamentals are good, and I think there is going to be a narrative here for the third RWA proxy or play that comes into the space because, Mantra and Ondo have run up so much. And look, we do have Ondo unlocks in January, which people are wary of. A lot of those bag holders are looking for a rotation. And I think ClearPool does have the fundamentals here to be that rotation. A few reasons I posted in my Discord. They have huge backers, Sequoia, Hashkey, Arrington. They also already have a Kraken listing and a Bybit listing. I'm also hearing there might be more listings to come in the future, which is obviously a catalyst. They've been one of the oldest and most established RWA protocols. They've been around for 3 years. Most of their supply is already onto the market, and they've already originated $620 million in loans since inception, which is a huge number. They have major partnerships in the space. They're also introducing Ocean, which is a blockchain for RWA yield, which is supported by Optimism. So they're going to become their own chain, which means it's not even like a Mantra competitor or an Ondo competitor. It's like both combined into one. It's obviously offering institutional credit, but it's also got the infrastructure like Mantra has combined. So it's basically both in one, which I think is a pretty nice proposition. So fundamentally tick the boxes. Valuation wise, it also ticked the boxes. I just wanted to update you on that because I did add it to my portfolio, and I know a lot of you are hungry for RWA plays. So this was the one that I took a big position in. Took some profits from Ondo, Mantra, rotated some in, and that's basically how I'm playing it here. Now, in terms of technicals, we're at a huge resistance level, which if it breaks, I think we can run up to the yearly highs, which from that level would be a 158% move pretty quick. I don't just want to like shove hopium down your throat, but I'm just being real with you. Like when RWA accelerates, it accelerates hard. And this is definitely one that I think could accelerate hard. So once again, follow the guide that I put out on my Twitter about getting positions. You don't need to FOMO in all at once. You could get a position now, then wait for a reclaim of this level. Then once it reclaims, you get another position. Then on the retest, you could get another. Like you can DCA in, you can buy all now. It depends on your thesis. Depends on whether you agree with this thesis that I put in my Discord. But based on my research, and I've been speaking to the team, I think it's a very strong one. So that is one. The next one I want to discuss is from AI DePin. Well, it's not just one. AI DePin in general, I really think you need to still be paying attention to. Murad, by the way, he's on the Memecoin wave now, but he also said he thinks AI is one of his secondary narratives. Now, what I haven't seen is Murad shilling a lot of AI alts yet. When he does, I think those ones are going to absolutely explode. And Murad, I'm going to message you. You got to give me the early scoop, right? And you know, we'll give it to the Mars High Club. We'll give it to the YouTube audience, but give it to me first. Tell me what AI coins you're buying because it is the clear second narrative after memes. In fact, if you want to be really technical on the centralized exchanges, it's the number one narrative, but this only tracks the big listings, so that data is skewed. Obviously, memes still are growing the fastest in terms of the pure liquidity injection, but Near Protocol is one that I've continued to stack. BitTensor, I mean, I've been into $200. It's kind of similar to POPCAT now. It's run a lot, but similar to POPCAT, it probably keeps running. It is the leader. There are a few here that I'm very interested in, but there is one I want to expand on a little bit more today, and that is WMT. So the viewers of the show would know I've talked a lot about WMT. It is DePin, so technically not AI, but AI and DePin seem to be lumped into the same category, like a cash network and Render technically aren't even AI. They're also DePin. So I think DePin and AI will kind of run together. Now, WMT is a mobile network. So basically their mission is to give internet access to people that don't have internet access and create a flywheel, an ecosystem which rewards people for using the network. And I think it becomes one of the most tangible sources of yield in crypto because a lot of these other protocols that are offering yield, real yield, it's not even real. It's emissions that are funding the protocol to basically pay out an APR. Whereas WMT, it's earning real revenue. It has real users and it has a real use case. That's fundamentally the reason why I like WMT over a lot of these other DePin protocols. But the main reason right now why I'm talking about it today is because something big happened. You guys will know, especially if you've been invested in WMT, they launched on Cardano. They were the number one traded token for a long time on Cardano. Now, Cardano is a dead chain. I'm sorry, Charles. Sorry, ADA fans, but it's true. Cardano's a dead chain. There's no users there. There's no liquidity there. There's no hype there. So despite them having a great product, they simply did not have the liquidity to grow until now. Because they just announced that on Monday, they're entering, which is today, they're entering the base ecosystem. So you can now buy WMTX, which is the new ticker, on EVM chains like Base. It's going to be so much easier for liquidity to come into WMT. It's going to be so much easier for them to build community. Now they're in the EVM ecosystem because even myself, like when I first bought WMT, I had to create a Cardano wallet, go on the DEX. Like it was annoying. I don't like Cardano. EVM, everyone's already on it. This also means that they can get a lot of exchange listings, which is obviously going to help support price. There's actually a bit of speculation. I mean, this is on my part because I've seen these tweets here that potentially they could get Coinbase. Base, which is the Coinbase chain, is publicly supporting them. They've tweeted about them. They've supported their launch, basically partnered with them, so to speak. You can also see here that the CMO of Coinbase themselves posted this about how they were excited about WMT. So that is literally the CMO that's excited about it. And then I did some digging. I went back a year ago and I saw Brian Armstrong. Loveheart reacted this post from the World Mobile team, which said World Mobile is the very first mobile network operator built on the blockchain that utilizes a sharing economy model, which is one of the main reasons I'm bullish on it fundamentally and the node system. But this Coinbase element here could definitely be a narrative, not just a narrative, it could result in a Coinbase listing, right? They're clearly tight with the team somehow. They've been publicly supporting them indirectly through tweets. That would be a very, very, very big catalyst, especially because retail basically can't buy into real yield source protocols, because most protocols in crypto, they're using emissions, and as I said, they're just not really offering real yield. Whereas a sustainable yield system that's actually based on a network that grows, like a real product, like a real business, I think that would really appeal to a lot of people, especially if you've got a Coinbase listing. So this is one I've sized up on once again due to those reasons, and just because I think fundamentally it's at a very reasonable valuation considering what they're doing. And the APR on the nodes is insane. I'll talk about that in a future video when I show my node, because I recently acquired a node, and we'll go through that. And then there's one more AI protocol I wanted to discuss today. It's not launched yet, but I want you to keep your eye on it. It's CARV. I've talked about this in the past, but they're building the largest modular data layer for gaming and AI. Now, one of the theses that I have on the market is some of the coins that are going to perform the best this cycle are the ones that combine not just one, but 2 to 3 of the hottest narratives in the market at all times. Now, there are 2 coins in particular that cover the gaming and AI space really directly. One is Prime, which you guys know I've been accumulating as an AI play. And the second one that hasn't launched yet is CARV, because they are essentially offering their services across both the gaming and the AI space. They're incorporating both into their system. I'm going to go into more depth on the educational side of CARV in future videos, because there's a lot to unpack in terms of how they offer data sovereignty, how they're integrating into games, how they're integrating into AI protocols. But what you need to know now is that I think it's going to be a top AI proxy at some point, and it's one that I've personally invested in and that I'm quite bullish on. They have listed on Bybit pre-market, so you can trade it now. I'm personally not doing this. In terms of liquid trading, I'm going to wait until the token launches. It's launching on, they just did their announcement here, on the 10th. So that is, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. UTC. So they're launching this week. When it launches, I'm really keen to see where it settles, because there could be a situation where it launches super undervalued, in my opinion, and it becomes a great buy. It could launch overvalued and then go down a bit, and then, we can buy after the dip. I'll keep you updated on that side. But fundamentally, this is one that I think you should be paying attention to. They've almost got 1 million followers as well, which is crazy. A lot of big people in the space follow them as well. And they're partnered with a bunch of massive games, AI protocols. The founder's also amazing. I've spoken to her many times, and we've had great conversations. They're super passionate. And I just really think it's a cool one from a fundamental perspective. Before we head off, I'll just give you like a 30-second Bitcoin update, because I've just realized this is the first video in a while that I haven't even talked about Bitcoin. Good news is we've pivoted. We're moving back to the crucial level. If this is a higher low and then we target a higher high, I mean, that's what it looks like right now. That would be amazing. But just have a look at how we actually react to this level. If we start to reject here, that is the most bearish thing ever. Not ever, but that would mean another lower low, right? And we'd probably come down here. So what I want is to shoot through, maybe squeeze up, and then come down and then make another floor. That is what I'm hoping. Similar thing on total 3. It's a similar pattern. You have this new trend, like this new regression channel almost. I'll refresh it here. Within the previous regression downtrend. Alts look really good. I'm not going to lie. You have the lows here. You have a higher low. You have another higher low. If they can start to really consolidate above this level here, that for me is a very strong sign that we're going to go to 800 bill again, which is another 30% on alts, which means many alts are going to 2, 3x, etc. But this is the key level you need to clear. It is resistance. I am expecting maybe a bit of a pullback into that zone. But overall, the charts do look good. This has been an extremely long video, so I'm not going to keep talking. I'll see you in the next one. I think there was a lot of alpha today. If you do want to join the Mars High Club, there is a link in the description below. A lot of my alpha is going to be there. I post all the alpha first there. we're definitely talking a lot in the meme talk channel at the moment. So if you are interested in memes, it's pretty much the place to be. For the early alpha, maybe we can get some exclusive alpha from Murad and I can post it in there. That would be great. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Peace out.